You want to be chasing these powerful legendary items in Ghosts of Tsushima Legends, and I think I now know most of them thanks to everyone who reached out with the legendaries they found. I got to say though, sometimes the epic variant is kinda just as good, so you can better focus your limited legendary space on a very good item. I also found some myself, so I want to showcase them here in this video, including the insanely powerful demon seeds and way more. I will also tell you the best way to get these items and share an update on New Game Plus. So a lot to go over, a like on the video would really help the channel out. And let's go. Let's quickly touch on New Game Plus, because we got multiple confirmations from people who already finished the story on this new mode. For one, you can namely indeed get 2 ghost armor colors if you make a different choice at the end. Unknown shared a video via Twitter, like you can, at JorRaptor, showcasing all the ghost armor colors in this gear menu, including the transcendent one that was not available immediately when you start New Game Plus if you got the platinum, but will actually unlock after finishing the story. Although the dye should be available the moment you start New Game Plus, so Sucker Punch is working on a fix. Another thing that you can select is New Game Plus Plus. Like if you finish the story on a New Game Plus save, you can replay the story again on New Game Plus with that same save. So in my interview with Nate Fox, the creative director, he said there was no New Game Plus Plus, but I think he meant there was no extra difficulty if you would start New Game Plus again. So I should have been more clear with my question. I just meant if you could like redo the story again after completing New Game Plus, and well, that is the case. THML7 on Instagram shared this info with me, and also an image of the Tomoe's Darkness mask that you unlock after completing the New Game Plus mode, which of course really awesome that you get like an extra reward. And now I want to go over to the Legends mode, because many of you also reached out with legendaries that you found, and I already showcased some in my previous video that I will link to at the end of this one. But now we got a look at more of them. James, for example, got KENJI'S shared BREW, a healing gourd that also heals nearby allies, which of course is insane and perfect if you want to go full support with the Ronin. Still, Vicarian Noir, and I hope I pronounced that right, shared the Heaven Sting legendary bowgun that has a 20% chance to instantly kill non-only targets. Pretty good, and that's actually something you will find on a lot of legendaries, a percentage perk that in my experience is just not as good. A legendary I got is namely called Ladies SANJO'S Surprise, a derf throw with a 15% chance to cause enemies to hallucinate, but yeah, with a cooldown of 40 seconds, it means that it will likely occur maybe once or twice in a story mission. And sure, you can hit multiple enemies with one throw, but then it still doesn't occur that often. The health bar of the enemy will turn purple when the enemy is affected, which is nice, but if there's no other enemy around, then he will still attack you. And I also had it once in a group of enemies, but then the enemies just almost instantly took out the target who was hallucinating, making the effect pretty useless for such a low chance. Like overall, the dirt throw with the fired up that burns enemies or that weakens them is still super powerful, but in this case, an epic one is just fine for that. And you can of course modify these items too, and I really like this feature. Like only do it for epic and legendary gear, and only really when you are already a high level, but with this system you can basically increase their key and get it up to the max level of an item in that specific window, but you can also reroll the special perks to really get the one you want and build your perfect item. It's really awesome, and make sure that finding an epic or legendary ghost weapon or weapon in general just means that you do not have to look for a new one. Like I got the demon seeds now that when you put them down already weaken enemies that walk over them, which is insanely powerful in high difficulties against high health enemies, and now thanks to this effect they are also on fire. You can also have the lucky perk that has a chance to reset the cooldown, but again 15% is not a lot. And deep bags is actually also a really great option that you could go for, so more of these seeds are on the ground. And I got this legendary from a gold story mission, but we and many others actually had legendaries drop in silver story missions as well, so it's totally possible while the chance is likely lower. So yeah, totally jump into silver the moment you reach key level 25, and then when you've completed every story mission, you want to focus on 2 amazing ways to get legendary gear right now. And I'm saying right right now because one will likely be fixed in a future update or maybe by the time you watch this, and that is jumping into the weekly nightmare mission that you find under challenge in play now. If you namely jump into this mission without matchmaking so that you are alone, you just have to take out yourself by walking outside of the level area, and then you will die and instantly go to the reward menu. You will not see a gear reward here, but if you actually check your inventory after doing this like a couple of times, you will see that you got a ton of new gear, and there's totally a chance to get a legendary here as well. You can also use this tactic to get your key up and just get some powerful epic gear. You will not rank up your character, but it's still like very easily doable. Again, I would not be surprised if they changed this. You also need to have completed all the story missions at least once before you can select this nightmare option and have a key of 90 to start this mission. And really the easiest way to get there is by replaying the Servered Hearts mission on silver and then change it to gold when you reach the required level. This is namely the shortest story mission in the game. You can really complete it in like a little over 10 minutes, also depending on the modifiers and objectives, because these are different of course each time. And it actually makes replaying this mission quite a lot of fun. On gold it will obviously take a little bit longer, but it's still way faster than any other story mission, and it will also give you 5 gear rewards if you of course also take the Oni chest. So totally do that. There are of course also scrolls in this area that you also want to get for a better reward at the end. So I want to show you the locations and then after that look at some more legendaries. If the scroll is in chapter 1, it can be in 2 locations, in the middle of the camp, outside, right here, it's really hard to miss, or also in the tent. It depends. In the second chapter, the scroll can also be in the middle of the map on the tree trunk, and if the scroll is in the third chapter, it is in the captain tent, so on top of the mountain, and then you just have to find a large tent, go inside, and you will see the scroll here. Of course, overall, doing this tactic is easier with someone else that you know, although it should be doable via matchmaking as well. And then you will rank up insanely fast, get a ton of great items, and maybe even legendaries. Like Dennis got the Yoshitsune's hand from the Silver Served Hearts, a water katana that allows you to knock down enemies on a stagger, so you can set them up for a free critical strike. It is kinda hard to see that the effect triggers, but you will get the square button indicator. It is good when it happens, but also here 30% is just not a lot. The same can be said for the Demon Cutter that also has a 30% chance to trigger the effect, although when it happens it's way more clear, throwing the enemies on the ground with a blast so you can easily finish them off. But yeah, I still think that the Master's Katana that Jeff C now also shared via Twitter is the best katana available because you are able to switch to the different stances, something I totally missed from the main game. We also found a half bow called Weightless Spirit that will fire arrows in a straight line, so arrows don't descend as the description reads, and you will actually see the crosshair indicating that you will be hitting the target as well, which is pretty nice. It's a really great legendary bow for sure. But you also got the stone bow that has headshots ricochet to a nearby enemy, which is insane for the hunter playstyle. Coder Dart, and I hope I pronounced that right, also sent me this in combination with a Charmy God that got the Blessed Arrow perk. So headshots also heal nearby allies. So pretty insane combo. You can kind of make the hunter a support as well. Like there are quite a lot of possibilities and I can't wait to figure them all out. Again, if you got stuff, reach out to my social media channels or the input@JorRaptor.com email address. Dennis and I actually want to stream the Nightmare Encounters tomorrow. I will make a countdown on the channel before the stream, so I hope you can be there. Subscribe for way more Ghosts of Tsushima videos to miss nothing, and a like on the channel would really help the channel out. And totally check out that previous Ghosts of Tsushima video as well by clicking on the screen. For now, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.